Welcome, Jose Toscano, one of my clients from Pembroke Pines. You live in Pembroke Pines, Jose, or is
That
it
is correct. Pembroke Pines. Yep.
Pembroke Pines, South Broward County, Greater Fort Lauderdale? And this is an exciting interview. Thank you, Jose, for agreeing to do it
Yeah.
because you were not even a year ago, maybe 10 months ago, 11 months ago, on the verge of quitting real estate. And now we're recording this, what are we, in June of 2024, and you're having a $50,000 month.
Yes, it's been
That
a
is
great month.
pretty amazing. And I know that there are some agents watching this right now that are also thinking that maybe real estate is not for them. I got to go figure something else out. Brand new agents that want to have a $50,000 month like you're having now. So please, Jose, tell us what changed in the last 10, 11 months that got you from almost quitting the business to this $50,000 month.
Well, it was a lot of faith and a lot of action. You always talk about massive action, and that is key because you work on the mindset, the skills and the action, but with the action you get the opportunity to really develop the skills because there's no other better way than actually doing it and learning while you're doing it. And also the mindset, when you get a success, it really helps to build that mindset, and you can always use that as inspiration to go forward.
For the
So
next.
that's what's helped me. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question about the action because I'm sure a lot of agents watching that are not making any money, they're taking action. It's not like they're sitting on the couch all day, they're working. So when you say action, there's different types of action, right? There's different things you can do. And I know that it's not like you were sitting around either. You told me you were majorly doing a ton of door knocking. Yeah,
Yes.
before you and I met.
Yeah.
So when you say, talk a little bit about that. You were doing a lot of door knocking. I don't know how much. Tell us how much. And you were taking some listings, but I don't know what caused you to think maybe this is not going to work long term. You wanted to quit. So what action are we talking about that actually got you to this incredibly profitable month?
Well, it's not just action because I was taking a lot of action, but I didn't have the skills, so I would have eventually learned the skills, but it was taking me a long time. There was skills I didn't even know I needed to learn.
So give
I
us
had
some
no idea.
examples of skills. What are you
Well, I
referring to?
had no idea about pre-qualification. I had no idea about closing. I really was never a salesperson. I didn't have a sales background.
Hmm.
So it was
What
all
is
new
your
to me.
background, real briefly?
Yeah, it was corporate. I was in finance for a long time, and
Okay.
I never really learned to be a salesperson. It was always very focused on numbers and office and
Okay.
and and that type of work.
Got
So
you. Then
yeah.
okay, so you were doing a lot of door knocking and you were getting some business, but I guess not things were not working out. Why wasn't it working out? So you weren't pre-qualifying, closing, what else?
Yeah, I just didn't have the skills to really, put it all together and close the transactions. And I really was trying to figure it out on my own, and I got frustrated, and that's when I really at a point where I was questioning whether to go forward and continue with this or
Hmm.
take another direction. I reached out to Sales X, and I spoke with your son Gabriel, and he really it was a defining moment because at that point I really felt like I could give it another shot. And then I needed the coaching. So when Gabriel answered, I felt like there was a real person behind it. And then I called and I joined, and I realized there was so much more to learn. And then I started slowly learning it, still doubtful about the whole idea, but knowing that I needed to do something. So I started taking action and learning and learning and building on that.
Jose, you mentioned pre-qualifying, closing. what are some of the main, in addition to pre-qualifying, because as you know, to pre-qualify, you have to first set an appointment. So, what are some of the skills that you learned that helped you set more appointments? Because you also transitioned from door knocking to actually calling, talking to people over the phone. So, what were some of the, or still, I'm sure you're still learning, right? We're
Yeah, no,
never done.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
what are some of the main skills that had this gave you sort of this breakthrough?
Well, I'll tell you, door knocking is like circle prospecting. There's, you're looking for that needle in a haystack.
Mm,
Um, with your program, it's focused on every call as a possible lead. So I took action really. I really disciplined action as of January of this year. I really started taking discipline, which you say 8 o'clock to 12. And I really went hard, calling, focused, discipline, mastering my morning, really taking it serious. And
mhm.
in February, I got my first listing, and
Yeah.
it was such an exciting moment. I called it in the morning, and I took the listing in the afternoon.
Wow,
And
that's what we want you to do every day, Jose. Who was
yeah,
it? Was what type of
it
prospect?
was a condo. It was a condo on the beach, on the ocean in 1865. It was on South Ocean Drive on Hollandale, and
Right. An
it,
expired listing? How what was it?
it was an expired listing. It was an expired
Mm,
listing, and I took it, and I was like, wow, it was after a month and a half of calling, and it
so
was such a great feeling, a proof of concept,
yeah,
ice breaking, whatever you want to call it. And I just held that to myself. I go, it does work. I can do it again. I know
yes.
I can do it. I did it once. I can do it again. So from there, I got another listing, and you know things came up. I got another listing. So the way I'm here now is I have two closed, two pending, two active, and I have a lot of business coming, and it's like it just takes on a life of its own, right?
Got the ball rolling here now, right? You're building
Right.
on your success, and I would imagine, I'm sure you'd agree, Jose, that the skills that you've been, all the learning, because you joined my training, I don't know, 10, 11 months ago, but it sounds like you didn't really start making calls till January, and it
That's
took you
right.
a month and a half to take a listing, but the consistency of what you're learning compounds and compounds, and even what you're learning from making the calls, it's all compounding, so the results start to get better and better.
Yeah, it's all about learning because and I think it all starts with the massive action. I was always big on taking action. I just didn't have the skills. And it's hard because I was never a social person or a salesperson, and it was hard, to door knock. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, and it was hard to make the calls. However, y- once you do it for a while, it gets easier, and
Mm,
then once you get a success, it's something that keeps you motivated, and it's such a great feeling that I keep that as a motivation, and it keeps me going. and
yes.
and then as you get business, you get a whole nother set of things to learn. Every listing is unique, every situation is unique, every closing has different issues you have to deal with, and you learn as a result of it. It's an opportunity to learn and get better. So I can see it's just something that keep learning, you keep becoming better, opportunities to get better and better, and that's where I'm
Jose,
at, excited.
so you said, which is what I recommend, so I'm glad you're doing what I say, you're making calls from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. Monday
Yeah,
through Friday.
I've done that. That's a hard, I won't sugarcoat it. It's difficult to do
Yeah,
that
I
pace,
know.
8 to 12. So I sometimes fizzle out around 11:30. I take a break, but I have gone, many days from 8 to 12. It's tough, but at least 3 hours
like a job, right?
Yeah,
Imagine if you had a
that's
job
right.
and you had to work all morning. You
That's
had a
right.
corporate job, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy, and you're getting better and better. It sounds like you're doing it now, though. You're getting pretty close, even if you go to 11:30, right?
It's very exciting because as you talked about in your training and as I see it unfolding for me, um, you don't need to do as much to get the results. So there is a learning curve, and you get more efficient and effective with the script. So it may not, initially, yeah, I mean, you have to talk to a lot, but as you get better and better, you get more
Mhm.
effective, and you don't have to put in the 4 hours. Maybe you get an appointment in the first couple of hours, or something, or you can get two appointments. I've had the opportunity to get a couple of appointments in one day, so that's exciting.
That's
And
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
awesome feeling.
tell the listeners, who are you calling? Who do you call in what order?
Well, I'll be honest. I need to work on the for sale by owners. I haven't really. I called a little bit, but I've been focused on expireds. Now, the way I do it is, you know, there's an initial set of expireds that come out every day. So
Yes.
usually you can do that within the first, hour, half hour, and then you can call them again. I call them again a couple times, and then after that, I'll just go to old expireds, and I'll keep calling expireds. I've called expireds for 3, 4 hours straight, and I go
Really?
back to a year, and I've got listings from 6 months old expireds. I've got listings from 3, 4 months expireds.
Yes.
So I
And
mean,
well, and
yeah,
you're able to do that because you have a lot of them. I imagine, I don't know if you're calling all of Broward County. I used to sell real estate
yeah,
exactly where you are in Broward. So I know the area and you have a lot of expireds. Um, so you can spend 3 or 4 hours on the phone. You never run out
I
of these
don't.
phone
I
No.
don't. I'm calling from Kendall. I
Oh,
call
you're going all the way to South Miami.
I just got a listing in Kendall a week ago.
Yeah, that's
And
South Miami for
yeah,
those that
South
don't know.
Miami.
That's amazing.
And
That's probably at least an hour drive for you with no
it,
traffic.
it's about an hour, but I have my way of getting around, and
And
it's
even if
about,
it's an hour, it's worth it. Are you kidding?
yeah, it's
Ama
$8,000, right? So
Amazing. Oh,
$9,000, so it's worth it, yeah, for sure. So
this
no
is
doubt.
another great thing you just said, because there are a lot of agents that say, "Oh, I don't have enough expireds," but they're really just focusing on a very small geographic area. You're going an hour, you probably go even a little bit longer to take a well-priced listing. Why not? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, gives you
Yeah.
more
I
opportunities.
mean, it's not like I have, 100 listings, I'm not taking 100 listings. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it's an opportunity, and the way I see it, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to build the mindset of being able to prove that I can do it, and help somebody out and learn and help myself out. So it's a win-win. That's the way I see everything. It's just
100%. Jose, so this $50,000 a month, you told me that it's a few listings sold that are closing and one buyer. So the
yeah.
majority, I don't know if it's four listings sold and one buyer. What's the
So
breakdown?
so two closes, two two more listings. One is an expired that I had. That one's in Fort Lauderdale, in a little bit further north. So, again, just
That's
spreading
fine.
yourself geographically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one listing, they asked me if I could help them purchase a property. So, I know usually I don't, but I said, I agreed to them. They really were, on board with it, and they really wanted my help. So I said, sure, okay, well, let's do it.
I
So
know
that
you're justifying because I say just refer the buyer out. So you're like, yeah, well, they really asked me. Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Confession time here for you. Jose, what do you say to real estate agents that think that li- expired listings are not going to lower the price? We know that they expired, in the majority of them, or 95 or 99%, because they were overpriced. And there are a lot of agents that think, well, they're overpriced. They're never going to lower the price, so I'm not going to bother. What do you say to that?
I think it has to do with the presentation. The presentation is key in explaining to them and showing them the facts, right? I also take my laptop actually, and I show them not only the black and white on the paper, the CMA of the properties, but I also show them the pictures on my laptop of the comparables so they can see for themselves the pictures, and they can see
The
what they look
condition,
like and
right?
how it relates to their property. And I show them all the details, and I take the time to explain to them and let them ask questions and get their feedback on what they're seeing as well. And that really helps me. I also show them the days on market. I go through the whole to really give them an explanation, and then they come up with the price, and yeah, we lower it many times. The listing is overpriced, and if the motivation is there, like you always say, they'll be willing to be realistic, and explain to them, the appraisal process, the whole everything that's involved. A lot of times they're not aware of everything, and you explain it to them, and they understand it, and they agree with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally feel like listings expire overpriced because their previous agent either didn't have the knowledge or the courage to have a real conversation. You're not making up the numbers. You're just a professional that understands it, and you're helping them understand it. So, Jose, what is it that you're doing to set appointments? Like, you're calling, you're in a very competitive market. I mean, but Dade County, which is where Miami is, Kendall, where you took the listing, is the largest board of realtors in the United States. I don't know if you know this. They have over 50,000 realtors.
I
And
don't think.
Broward
Yeah.
County is not far behind. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a very competitive area. I'm sure there are a ton of agents calling. What are you doing on the phone to set these expired appointments?
Well, I don't think about all that. That's the first thing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just think about the task at hand. Like you say, focus on the task at hand. I follow the script. The script works. When I deviate from it, I get in trouble. And I focus. I've internalized it pretty good.
Hey, tell them
And
what the script is.
yeah, the expired script. I just read them the script and the objection handlers, and I role play. That's part of my morning routine. Every morning I role play.
Uh-huh.
We're on the list with Pat. He's got a good list together, and we always run a schedule with that. So that's part of the morning routine, practicing, and you get better at it. And once you get better at, at everything you say, repeat, approve, handle the objection, it works. It works. I mean, you can have an off day, you can have a day where it's difficult or you get off track, but keep focused, taking action, repeating. It becomes easier. You get more confident. You get a listing. The best time to make a sale is right after you've done one. So you run out that momentum, and I always keep those listings in my mind. Those that experience. Of that appointment, of that positive call, of that successful call, and I keep it in my mind, and I visualize, like you say, every call is going to be the next one. It could be the next one. It could be the next one. And, and it works. So I don't think about all the competition. I don't think about anything like that. I just think about, there's enough for everybody, the abundance, right? And
Yes.
there's going to be one. All I need is one, right? All I need is one or two
That's
every
right.
day. So
That's right. And well, you're focusing on doing your best, on improving and doing your best instead of worrying about what everybody else is doing and how many agents are out there.
that's
You're
right.
doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Unfortunately, a lot of agents are, they're worried about the market and the competition. It doesn't really matter. You got to figure out how to do your best and improve every single day. Jose, do you have the expired script in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Read it to them. So somebody watching this video and they have no idea what it is, tell them
Hi.
it's only one line. So go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, this is Jose. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know your house came off the market today, and I'm calling you because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would you be available today around 3 o'clock, or would 4 work?
Yeah,
And pretty much
there you go.
that's
That's
it.
it. That's the whole script. Yeah. Anybody watching, like, oh, I'm using this like script that has 10 different questions or 12 or I don't know how many. Did you ever use any of those other coaches
No,
companies?
I never got that far with that with
Okay,
sales.
good. Good for you.
Yeah,
So
I
you
never.
from the beginning you were well, when you started making these calls, you just use my script.
That's it. That's the only. I never had a coach. I was trying to figure it on my own. It was very, very tough. I was taking action but not getting results, and you know, I really started, really applying myself, and I'm getting results. It's exciting. It's awesome.
Jose, one
Happy
thing
about
you
it.
told me last week is that you're joining Sales X, my training has a Zoom prospecting group. You're joining
Yes.
the group and making calls with
Yeah.
them. How
I'm
how does how has that helped you?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the morning routine. It's part of the mastering my morning. It's part of the things that I do, like, as a routine, right? So I have a routine, and I follow it, and it helps me stay focused, or it helps me stay doing it disciplined, right? I think it's discipline is the word. So
Right.
I gotta join that process. It's just something more to do in the things that I do, part of the things that I do.
And in that Zoom, there are other sales X clients there that are also making calls.
Yes.
Does it, I mean, honestly, I didn't ask you this before, so I have no idea what you're going to say. But does it help you like stay on task to have the other agents there doing it with you instead of just being alone in your
Yeah, it helps, and there's a lot of good agents on that Zoom call. There's a lot of, agents, very different skills, but we can all learn from each other, and we share ideas, we share experiences on that Zoom call, and we see people get listings appointments right there live, and
that's
it's a
exciting
great
too.
inspiration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
it's
like you
exciting.
said, when you get one, you're like, "Yeah, I could do it again." But when you maybe if you're having a tough day and you hear somebody else just got an appointment, like, "Yes, I could do it too." So
That's right.
having that accountability and
That's right.
hanging out with like-minded people. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, Jose, to close this up, I want you to talk a little bit about you mentioned mindset in the beginning of our conversation. What are some of the things that maybe you started doing after you started hanging out with me and joined my training that mentally has made you stronger?
Well, one of the things, you read a lot of good books. In that sense, I was always working on my mindset, but not to the. You really exposed me to certain things that really help to this discipline, of sales, and so
Mm,
just been really focused on that side of it, as far as the book, some of the people you mentioned in your lessons, some of the guidance, like David Goggins was one of them. I never had heard of him, and it was amazing,
the guy's
um,
incredible. Yeah.
inspiration. And so I spend a lot of time on my mindset, listening to, Jim Rohn, a lot of the books you mentioned, Napoleon Hill. I was aware of him a long time ago as well, but it's always good to revisit these things, and it's like, you said something the other day in one of the posts. You're around the people you associate with. So I
Yes.
don't really associate with many people, but we have technology now, so I associate with Jim Rome. I associate with,
A
the
hundred percent.
those are
Yes.
the people I associate with, right? Listening to
Yeah.
them on the phone, or when I'm, just doing things. I have their YouTube videos and recordings, and I listen to their motivation constantly. So I'm
Yeah.
constantly working on that, constantly.
This is a great point because just like you, when I was selling real estate, I didn't have anybody around me that was really successful. I was reading a lot of books, listening to audio programs. You are hanging out with those people when you
That-
do that.
That's
And
right.
Yeah, and a lot of the agents listening are thinking the same. Well, who am I going to hang out with? Read great books, watch videos on YouTube, listen to audio programs, all of that stuff, and the community too. Create a community around you. SalesX happens to have that, but obviously you get to interact with people that have the same goals. They're after the same sort of skills and learning that you are. So that's very helpful. Jose, this has been amazing. Any final words of wisdom for a real estate agent that is thinking of quitting the business? They're struggling, they're not making money, or a brand new real estate agent that wants to have the same results that you're having? What advice would you give them?
I would say faith and action. I would say take that action, overcome, any excuse that you're making up or that you think you have,
Easier
overcome
said
it.
than done, Jose. Great
Yeah,
advice, but they're
it is.
thinking, oh, I'm afraid. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
But it's
How tell him how help him overcome that.
you gotta have the desire, and you have to, if you really want it, you're gonna do it. You're gonna take the action, and you gotta have faith to continue to take the action. I was there. I mean, I was thinking about, going another direction, and I said, let me just keep on and see if it, give it another 6 months, give it another 3 months, give it another, and but don't give it another 6 months waiting for something to happen. Give it another 6 months and really dive in. I mean, give it a shot. That's what I did. In January, I said, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna do 4 hours. I'm gonna do the 4 hours. See, what do I gotta lose? 4 hours. I'm gonna do it, and results came. It wasn't immediate, but I got better. And once the first result comes, it's over. It's a deal breaker. You see that you have hope, and you just build off that, and it just starts accumulating for sure. It will happen. It
Amazing.
will.
So just like the Nike logo, right? Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And do it a lot, because 4 hours a day, I realize, you said it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But if you had a
Yes.
real job, like I had a real job, so did you. A lot of people did. You
Mm-hmm.
work 8, 9 hours a day,
Yep.
and it's not like you just get to goof off. If you're goofing off, you get fired. So, okay,
That's
four
right.
hours a day, you're actually dedicating that time to build your own business. How exciting is that? You're not working for somebody else, you're improving yourself. Amazing.
Yeah, and unlimited potential. Where else? What other job can give you that? Where you're
Yeah,
you're unlimited. You're only, and the better you get, the more opportunity you have, and it's unlimited. So it's great. So
amazing. Jose,
excited.
this was so fun. Congratulations again. $50,000 in 1 month is a
Yeah,
big deal.
it's
Now,
awesome.
like the first listing got you excited. I could do it again. Well, another $50,000 a month, and like have that happen every month and build on that. It's exciting. It's not just about you making money. You're helping people that need a great agent, and you are a great agent. They couldn't be in better hands than you. So,
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so
congrats.
much, Jackie.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to do this with us today. Everybody, if you need a great agent in Greater Fort Lauderdale, Miami, because you're all over the place,
That's right,
say Toscana. Thanks, Jose. I'll see
for
you soon.
sure.